on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So hopefully, in a couple of minutes, you should be getting all kinds of notifications. So again, thank you, Matt, for dealing with that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was assuming when Rose did not pick up the phone the first time that she was just either upset with me for the decision that I made or busy. Was not expecting her to call me back.
What decision did you make?
Well, I'm gonna go back to BK part-time. Part-time.
You're probably going to need a second job then.
Possibly, but honestly, when I was working hourly, I mean, when COVID hit and rolled out and I went hourly, I was making more money hourly than I was salary.
Okay.
Which honestly, I'd rather be there and be able to cut my hours down for weeks when I've got stuff going on than continue to bust it at 50 hours where I'm trying to straddle 50 hours and make this whole thing work.
Okay, I got you on YouTube now.
Yay!
So you're hot on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm live. Okay, so this is Restream.
Is there any way you could boost your mic a little?
Yeah, let me get back into OBS. That is
Okay.
Discord. I need OBS.
Are you picking up background noises?
Yeah, I'm picking up your
From me?
stereo.
Okay.
I don't know if it's.
That's something I can control. I'll be right back.
You're fine. Let's see.
There we go.
What'd you do? Go beat the. Did you go start pummeling your roommate in the head or something?
No. He's too old for that. I just turned down his tablet.
Buy the man some headphones. You can buy the man some headphones. That doesn't cost much. Actually, maybe I should buy the man some headphones since I'm the one with the job. Apparently the birds have gotten really loud. I don't know.
Outside?
Yeah. Okay, so the last
Sun's still setting out there? Wow.
Huh?
I keep on forgetting about the time difference. The sun's still setting.
Yes, the sun is still setting, but it's like 8 o'clock here, and it should be like, well, it's nearly 9 o'clock there, or 10 o'clock there. It's nearly 9 o'clock here. And you want to know, I've noticed something, because between rewatching videos, I've noticed I have this thing with this eye where it looks like I had a stroke. It really does. It looks like I had a stroke because this eye will sag just a little bit more than my other eye, and I don't know why. It just does, and I'm like...
You just got to get your mouth full of tobacco then.
I think
so you look like a sailor.
So, yeah, I've got that going on. Just this, sleepy kind of eye thing, and I thought it was because maybe like this eye's just not quite as open because the light's in it. No, because my light is over there now, so.
So I'm wondering, are we going to do an art? Because I'm thinking about sharing this.
Well, yes and no. Since I don't have.
Or are we setting up your cameras?
No, I'm pretty much done jerking around with those for a while because I need a break from moving. I need just to woosah, and kind of work on some other stuff. I went and decided to shoot Shalom, which is where I was when I shot the wood ducks that somebody labeled mallards.
They're not mallards.
I know they're wood ducks, but somebody called them a mallard. And so I was sitting there like, I don't think that is what you think it is. It's a duck, but it's not a mallard, because a mallard has a solid wood head. That is too decorative. That is a wood duck. But what I just threw that on the floor. Oops.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Let's do that tail flinch. Brooklyn.
Yep, she's coming over here. Come on up here. Come on. Uncle Matt's calling you. Oh. Hi. Hi. Uncle Matt was calling you. Yeah. Uncle Matt was calling you. There you go. See? See? You're such a cat.
She sees a patio. She wants on the patio.
She came over here expecting you to be here, and instead of you being here, she came over here and it was just me, and she has gotten yelled at in the last couple of days because, along with my usual array of my candy jar, okay, which is normally on my desk, when we got the recliner from Fleet Farm,
oh, you went to the Fleet Farm, eh?
We went to the Fleet Farm, hey, yep, we went to the Fleet Farm. And I found in the candy aisle, so it was me and Megan, because Megan was helping me move the recliner, I found my dad's candy raisins. Ironically, because they didn't sell them in 1 pound, well, way a long time ago they did. So they had them, and so I, did the whole, it's a sign from my dad, because you could never find these things anywhere. And so I went and picked up a bag, and I only cracked these things 2 weeks ago. Okay. It wasn't right away after we bought the chair. They'd been sitting on the counter for a hot minute. Anyway, so in cleaning up the kitchen, because tomorrow they're installing the countertops, so we can't be on the air all night long. I decided to crack the bag open, just a little sweet. And I then took the rest of the bag and put them in the candy dish and put them up here, thinking, hey, snacks while I'm broadcasting. It's an incentive. Anyway, she who shall not be named but be partially on camera found the bowl of candy raisins and proceeded to start to steal them.
Uh-oh.
I laughed because I used to steal candy from my dad, but I never used to leave the little things all over the floor. So she would take one and she'd grab it and she'd run off with it, and I'd find it in the middle of the floor, and then I'd find another one there, and another one there, and another one over here, and then another one under the desk, and then one on like the actual top of the desk. And the one that was on the actual top of the desk was all full of cat slobber. Moron. The moron was slobbering all over it and then decided that, hey, this sounds like a really good idea. So, she's been stealing my candy raisins. And so I have to be careful when she's in the office now, because we like to steal candy raisins. So.
What, those chocolate covered things?
No. These things. My dad used to call them goobers.
Okay.
Yeah. But goobers are actually chocolate covered raisins. These are not so chocolate covered. They're more like gummy, honey flavored things. They're not really raisin flavored.
Okay.
Okay. So for
which you can only get at the Fleet Farm
well, you know, you
or
use
the Farm and Fleet.
or the Harmony Fleet. Whoop, the Harmony Fleet. So I took 3 cameras out, and we're gonna see if this is gonna work because I put the least interesting of the 3 on the computer and see if this works just fine. I had a problem with my computer a couple of days ago. I went to Shalom to do some photography.
Okay.
And the problem I ran into is when I went to go download the pictures, it had corrupted all of the files, which was a really big problem because then I couldn't exactly use. I am really confused. I love it when I get text while I'm broadcasting because I have no idea. At least that can wait. That's the passport, and that's the okay. So that one is working fine. The problem I ran into is that I was trying to. I'm just gonna take that and put that over there. It's distracting. I was trying to eject, transfer the files from my camera from the shoot, and was I on the air with, were we on Discord when I was doing that, or was that Megan in the background?
I'm not sure.
Do you remember me doing anything with the Canon and having trouble with file transfers?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I was on the air, or I was on Discord with you. Not really sure. Because I know Megan was in the room at the same time. And she actually was like, maybe I should just go. And I was like, it's fine, I'm just frustrated. So I was shooting Shalom with the Canon, the PowerShot. I shot some flowers at Kohler with the new Canon, and then I shot video with the old Canon and the video camera. Out of those 3, I have some of the video, most of the video from the video camera. I have all.
I gotta let this leg heal up so that you could have a second camera.
Huh?
I gotta have this leg heal up and get over this hill so that you can have another guy working the camera. And so that I can learn more about cameras.
Cameras and such. So I had shot some sheep. I should probably go look up the kind of sheep that these are before I misquote myself and then I get mad at myself, because I'm so much fun when I'm mad at myself. There it is. This is why we keep the paperwork. This is why we keep the map. These are the Barbary sheep. So really close to the sheep that we saw at Columbus Zoo, except instead of having the big spiral horns, these guys have regular ram horns. But they're basically a very similar sheep. I think the sheep with the spiral horns are actually higher in the Himalayas and closer to Asia, versus the Barbary sheep, which are down in Africa. But I think they're in the same set of sheep family because they have the really long, the coat and the size of these sheep are the same. The style of the horn is different. So I have footage of the sheep fighting, which was really cool. And I brought the Sony so I could get some B-roll. I was really disappointed, however, when I went to go load the Canon pictures on there because I could access them. Whoops. And then it dropped everything and said that the memory card was corrupt and it would not give me the ability to transfer them or access them, which was super sucky because, let me tell you, Suctitude level 10. I was super mad because I had a reshoot. However, on the reshoot, when I went back, you would actually probably really like Shalom, Matt, because really?
I've never been there. You talked about it before, though.
Well, I didn't know that there was a whole section of Shalom that basically is dedicated to the white-tailed deer, and
okay.
And therefore has, let me see if I can transfer this file without transfer. Okay. Wow, I have 1,500 items on this file. So I shot 1,500 pictures. So
well, what, you took pictures for about a half an hour.
This is why my sister didn't have it on continuous. I gave my sister, Pam, who is the art teacher, the new Canon to play with because she has more camera experience than I do, and I hadn't even picked the thing up other than taking it out of the box and charging the battery and throwing it in my camera bag.
Yeah.
They had given it to her to use over the course of Jacob's wedding in case she wanted to take pictures. She took all of, like, I think 15 pictures, and then she just handed the camera back. She's like, I don't feel like this anymore. And I'm like, okay. So, I'm gonna put this up for the camera. Or not, because it's not gonna work. Okay. So, what I think you would find especially interesting is that right over here, they have a inlet road which goes basically in the middle of the albino and pied whitetail exhibit. And what I thought was like super cute is that I forgot that baby deer are born in spring and it's June. So in my head, I was just like, oh, well, there's not going to be anything interesting. You know, it's summer, spring, nothing interesting happens in summer and spring because I'm used to thinking of Shalom as like a large, varied deer park.
Yeah.
A lot of whitetail, some red deer, Sitka deer. Let me see.
They've got Sitka there?
Yep, they've got Sitka deer there. They've got Sitka, fallow deer, whitetail, elk, and red deer are what these guys all started with. So your standard variety of deer. They have since expanded into, well, they had bison too. Bison is kind of like a standard MO, I think, in Wisconsin now. Then they kind of expanded into, they got some brown bears, they got some Siberian brown bears. And since they've kind of exploded, and now they have quite a variety, a lot of them are very native to Wisconsin.
Okay.
So they've got like raccoons and foxes, badgers, black bears, lynx, bobcats. They have since gotten a pair of tigers. I saw them last year during COVID. What I think is interesting is that this year I took the time to kind of ask some questions because I've noticed a striking similarity between the tiger, the white tiger that they have there, and the white tiger that they have at Timbavati. And the reason I point this out is because they're both very pale, and they have that reddish gradient of black, which is not quite so common, but the stripe pattern is what really made me ask whether or not the white tiger, who at Timbavati is called Diva, and the white tiger they have at Shalom, who is named Ginger, if those two are related. It turns out that according to one of the zookeepers, Ginger is actually Diva's mother, which makes more sense. Why if I stand at the gate and I chuff and I call her name, the Ginger will come over and she'll just kind of rub on the fence and she'll do the same kind of pattern behavior that Diva does when I'm up at Timbavati. So that was interesting, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of file digging because I know years and years ago, and I don't remember if it was after we bought the house in Cedar Grove or if it was before. I know I found out when we were living in Fredonia that Hoffers was doing this. And for those who might just be watching or watching the playback and are like, what the hell is a Hoffers? Hoffers was a really huge, like, mega pet store down in Milwaukee. Mike Hoffer was a really, really good guy. He basically...
I got all my rats there.
Yeah, he basically ran like a mini zoo. You could find like African tortoises and alligators and just pretty much anything and everything you could think of. You could either...
Everything that you'd want for your aquariums.
Yes, and he had the most expert help on hand for all of his people, which was ever so impressive. I just always really liked...
The salespeople were like dozens.
Yes. So, alright, so that's some good news. Okay. Alright. So the good news is that the pictures came off of the power shot just fine. We're going to have to come up with new names for the cameras, because just to say that, you know, I'm bringing the Canon, I mean, to bring this Canon was one thing, because this Canon could shoot, you know, holes in
Bob, Ed, Tom, and Joe.
Bob, Ed, Tom, and Joe. But this one it's got a much more low profile body, and the lens does come off. But this has a 15 to 45 millimeter lens, so
okay.
It cannot shoot the same stuff that the power shot can do. It also cannot do the burst mode. I mean, I did get this for streaming, and it's not set up for streaming yet because the overhead boom arm on the desk is not quite set up. So
okay.
That's why I said we're not going to play with cameras tonight. I don't want to play with. I'm done with setup for a while. I'm just kind of over it. Over it, but not over it. Rename. Rename. Nope, I want to rename you. Rename. June 21. Okay. That's not what I meant to do, but that's fine. Okay, so private stream. Ooh, B-roll. I have B-roll. Haha. Yes. New folder. This one is probably going to take a minute to transfer. Yeah, this is going to take a minute to transfer. So, blissfully, they've got a lot more animals. So when I initially went the first day, my thought was, okay, I'm not a big bear person. If I find something interesting that's happening with the bears, woohoo! If not, okay, I'm not out anything. I've already shot the tarpan horse, which basically looks like a really large gray version of a Frisian, or not a Frisian,
okay.
A fjord. I knew it was an F breed, Norwegian fjord. They've got a white stripe in the middle of their mane and a white spot in the middle of their tail, kind of like a fjord. But they've got the primitive stripes and markings on their leg. But they're a much bigger horse. They're like a Barbary horse.
Okay.
And they're more of a primitive horse. I don't know that any of these have actually been domesticated as far as whether or not any of them are rideable or usable, or if they're like legitimately wild. But I pretty much have photographed those. I kind of wanted to take a look at the tigers again because I had that suspicion, because now Shalom has billboards up throughout town and throughout Wisconsin advertising their, it used to be a wildlife sanctuary and now it's a zoo. I don't know what the differentiating between is, but they have pictures of their white tiger Ginger on their billboards. And every time I drive past one, I'm like, that looks a lot like Diva. Like, I wonder if Diva got moved and now Diva's living in West Bend. And no, it's Diva's mom who now lives there. But when I got there, I was surprised to find that they have 2 7-week-old tiger cubs that I have B-roll of. And if you've watched the True Facts thing about anything with mammals, and Frank is talking about how mammals do births by the number of nipples that they have, and so tigers have 4 nipples, and so generally give birth to 2 cubs, because you generally give birth by half of whatever your feeding capacity is.
Okay.
So a tiger typically will have a litter of 2 to 3 cubs, and they have 4 nipples. This particular tiger, wherever it was, because the zoo that it originally came from was not mentioned, had a litter of 5 cubs, and of course 2 were abandoned right from Jump Street. They were not allowed to nurse at all. Mom had given up on them and had picked her favorite 3, and these other 2 were kicked out. So Shalom took them in and is nursing them, and they are called Sugar and Spice, just for fact's sake. So we have Sugar, Spice, Ginger, and Samson. Samson as a name doesn't really ring a bell, or no, it was Goliath. It's Goliath. Doesn't ring a bell with anybody for, I don't know, any one of a number of reasons other than it's a biblical name. But what I think is interesting is that way back when Hoffers was doing their Christmas thing, where they would have a vendor come in, and the vendor basically would bring in like wildlife as like a wildlife show, and then you could take pictures with the cubs. It's that whole Tiger King thing that people are really not all that fond of anymore. I seem to remember shooting it was the weekend that I shot pictures of Kingston, and I want to say that one of the tiger cubs that was too little to handle was named Goliath. And they were a set of 3 cubs that were rescued as part of a drug raid from Waukesha County Sheriff's Department.
Oh, wow.
I might be wrong, but if that is this Goliath, if they're the same tiger, I'm probably going to geek out. Because that means I have known this cat since he was literally this big, and he was too little to be handled.
Okay.
That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool, actually. As you know, when we do the Arctic foxes, which we have around here, we try to shoot them at Columbus, and we didn't have much luck. I had more luck with B-roll, but again, they're in a really tight enclosure with some heavy fencing. It's not chicken fencing, so it was hard to shoot through. But I have B-roll. The doll sheep I kind of skipped. I have B-roll for bison, which just sounds like I'm trying to say B for bison, but I skipped the zebra altogether because I like my B-roll of Timber Body better, because it's so much fun when you can go and zebras come running. It confuses everybody. I skipped the ostriches, the camel, the llama. I did focus on the Barbary sheep just so I could get some better shots, because I can't remember what the other sheep was, Matt. What was the other sheep? You remember?
No.
You know which one I'm talking about. So the one that's related to the Barbary sheep but isn't the Barbary sheep with the spiral horns. That one didn't move, and so I needed some different body shots so that if I wanted to basically insert the sheep into another position, I could use that. I had that. The white-tailed deer I mostly skipped because the the stags are all basically in velvet, so the racks all look like puke. So
yeah,
I was a little astounded as a ferret owner that they had 2 ferrets. So basically what they have for smaller enclosures in this place is like really large watering drums, like the ones that are like 20 feet across and are basically like 4 feet. They're for livestock feeding.
Yeah.
So they have those, and then they have like a housing structure, and then they have some food dishes and some water dishes, and it's just kind of an open air concept. So if the animals aren't climbers, they basically stay in there. So the skunk was in a enclosure like that. The ferrets were, the tortoises were, and there was something else, but I didn't pay attention because I was just kind of amazed that that was in there. But as a ferret owner, I have to say that that was kind of astonishing because
aren't ferrets more indigenous to like Wyoming?
Well, you're talking like,
I mean, I've seen snow weasel.
Yeah, those are ermings. So you've got a lot of different weasels in the ferret family, but these were actually legitimate, like domesticated ferrets, like the ones they sell at Marshall's, like the ones that are in the room next door raising ruckuses in their cage and distracting me.
Yeah.
I need some Adderall today, I swear to God. But these were like legitimate domesticated ferrets. They weren't polecats, they weren't black-footed ferrets. If they managed to get a black-footed ferret, I would be amazed. Because they're so very tightly regulated because of how hard it is to get them to breed and how hard it is to get them to propagate. But what amazed me is that it was basically like this huge 20-foot drum that was 3-4 feet high, so it was too tall for them to get out of, and had a metal bottom so they couldn't dig their way out of it. But at the same token, there was nothing to keep another animal from eating them. And when you think about the chain of command as far as like who eats what around here, there are turkey vultures that predate the area. There were owls in the area and many other animals that could easily pick these ferrets off, including hawks. So I was a little on the astounded side that these 2 guys were just out there just kind of sitting in this little A-frame kind of bungalow looking thing, just chilling and sleeping. And I don't know if maybe they've been not handled since they were kids, so they're not handleable, or if they're like every other place where a ferret is basically handled all the time and they're an animal ambassador. But either way, if a hawk comes in and decides to grab one of those because it wants lunch, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of chipmunks everywhere, but these guys were out. I mean, and you know how hard it is to wake those little buggers up when they're down. So, I mean, it was amazing that they had these 2 critters in this thing, and they could have gotten picked off by any predatory bird that wanted to be in there, and nothing to protect them. I thought that was a little on the maybe irresponsible side, maybe. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for. But in the same token, when you look at the Siberian brown bears that they have, and I'm not a bear behaviorist. Okay, so let me preface my knowledge of bears by saying that. My knowledge of bears is what I can learn on Animal Planet.
All right.
And what I can gain from going on different websites, okay, and programs, you know, National Geographic and all that. So I'm not by no means going to call myself a wildlife or a wildlife behaviorist or anything. What the hell? Okay. But they had. I'm trying to fix this so that I can put you and I together next to each other so I can see what I'm seeing and see your reaction. But so in Shalom they have 2, 3 to 4 year old bears. Okay. They're both male, and they are named Lewis and Clark. And
that's cool.
Yep, they're named.
I like that. I like the name.
Lewis and Clark after the explorers. One is Lewis, one is Clark, and we spent a couple hours trying to figure out which one is which, and none of the people who are just lay people and populate the zoo on a regular basis can figure out who is who. But you as a hunter and having gone up north have to know some amount of knowledge of bear behavior because we have black bears up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if black bear behavior and brown bear behavior is the same. I would imagine it is, seeing as how they're both bears, but I also know that brown bears are far more aggressive than black bears, and therefore are more dangerous not only in just sheer carnagey bulk, but in general.
Brown bear is a black bear, basically. Basically, a brown bear is the same, and we have those in Wisconsin too. They're called cinnamon bear. It's the grizzlies that are more
grizzlies
aggravated.
Brown bears are west of South Dakota, and then through the western states, and then grizzlies I thought were limited to solely Grizzly Island up in Alaska and through Alaska. Through that range. Okay.
Grizzlies around by Wyoming and all of that too.
Okay. I was thinking grizzlies were, or I'm thinking of Kodiaks. I'm thinking of Kodiaks, because I'm thinking of Kodiak Island. Okay. So basically the brown bears are in a really large enclosure, really nice, big, large enclosure, which is basically primarily made up of chain link fencing. And it has electric wire on the inside of the pen to keep the bears off of the fencing. And then there's a space barrier of like a 3-foot chain link fence with a rail to keep people off of that actual fence. And that's, provided from like, I can't remember the regulatory committee that does that. I think that might be the DNR. But basically there has to be 6 feet between, there has to be a 6-foot perimeter fence to keep you 6 feet away from contact with those bears or any large animal, which is why there's moats in zoos, so you can stay a certain feet away.
Yeah.
So there's 2 big bears, and basically the only thing keeping these bears from you is the electric wire and a chain link fence. And these bears are probably, I don't want to several hundred pounds. They're big. They're not grizzlies, but they could hurt you really bad. And I noticed that I'm a little concerned that they have no problem with people feeding the bears, and just tossing like apples or something into their enclosure, just lobbing it over the fence, because it seems like that would be
I can see high school me beaming them with apples. Okay.
And well, they did. I think my problem with this whole experience is that I haven't made sacrifices to Vedoska, which for those who don't know is the native bear god. So I don't know if I haven't made enough sacrifices to Medoska, but one of those bears does not like me at all. At all. This bear will, if I walk up to the enclosure, and it doesn't matter if I have my camera at the ready or if I've got it in my little hip holster pack and it's down here at my hip and I'm just kind of looking at the bears. Because the first time I walked up on the bear enclosure 2 days ago, I was just kind of like, bears. I've got better pictures from Milwaukee Zoo where the bears are just kind of chilling in a tree and they're kind of playing with each other. And these, because they're fed constantly, are constantly engaged with people. And in this particular setting, I would have to shoot through 2 layers of chain link fencing.
Okay.
Now what I should do is see whether or not I've got that footage has actually got them in the enclosure doing the behavior that they're doing, that kind of brings to mind the whole question of the safety issues that I'm thinking of, because let me think. How long is this? 3 minutes? I don't know if this has got the aggressive. So you know how in hunter school, or with any learning how to hunt, if you encounter a bear, bears are bluffers, and so they'll make themselves sound big and they'll huff at you and they'll and they'll make themselves sound big, and if that doesn't work, they'll start popping their mouth in order to make startling noises. And if that doesn't work, the next bluff is that they'll charge the ground and they'll do like this, and and the last bluff is that they'll stand up on their hind legs, and that's generally when they start roaring. So to me, those are all signs of aggression. I don't know how you take that.
They are, especially a yawn.
Okay. That whole, this is how big my mouth is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I walk up on the enclosure and the one bear, and it's been the same dang bear for 2 days, because as I said, I had problems with the computer and it corrupted all of my pictures, so I had to go back the day after, which was yesterday, and do a reshoot. And I got the same reaction the second day. So it's not like this was like a one-off thing. I was wearing different clothes. It's nothing that I was wearing because, if I had smelled overly personally musky, I had taken a bath the night before, because I was walking around in sandals, so my feet were all full of dust and dirt and mud and shit. So I didn't particularly smell musky. I was wearing deodorant and body spray and all that. So there was no reason for this bear to have solidly picked me out, but it also decided to pick out a couple of other guys and decided that they were overly threatening too. I will say I was wearing this hat, so maybe this bear just doesn't like Harrison Ford. I don't know. Maybe he would just like to pay him back for, I don't know, making Han Solo dying. I'm not really sure. So I...
Oh, by the way, there's rumors of a fifth movie.
Fifth movie?
Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Still haven't gotten past the 4th one. I don't know how I'm going to do with the 5th one. So I walked up on the enclosure and I immediately got this thing where we're walking back and forth and we're huffing and we're puffing, and I thought, what are you doing? And so me forgetting bear protocol went back, and then he proceeded to huff back at me more, and his brother went over by a tree and started rubbing up on a tree, and I'd noticed that both of them are really, really wet from like about mid-brow between the ears through the nape of their neck. So I don't know if maybe they have a scent gland there that it's, you know, how a deer has scent glands, and it'll produce oils and, you know, effectively gland fluid, which is like a scent marker. I don't know if bears have the same thing. But both of them were wet from right behind their ears through the nape of their neck, and just there. They were right there, and they were both rubbing on trees and chewing on trees and huffing and puffing and, you know, doing all that. And I really didn't get concerned until this one bear got really pretty focused on me. It was like, and he was popping with his mouth. And I half expected him to start charging the fence like this and stomping it. But instead, he decided to stand up and do this. And I thought, well, this is cool. And so I shot some pictures of it. And didn't expect it to happen 2 days in a row, but it did happen 2 days in a row. What we kind of got amused with as a bunch of people who probably should not have been doing this. This is, again, another instant of things you probably shouldn't do at a zoo, and probably not encourage the bears to do this. There was another dude who was doing it. He was getting it done to him, and it was an older dude with his wife, who had also saw these bears when they had first gotten them in. And we were all standing around trying to figure out who was who, when said bear came up and started puffing at me, and then it would puff at him, that would puff back at me again. And he says, yeah, he's just continually doing that. And I said, isn't that a sign of aggression? You know, and we were kind of doing the math, and we're like, well, yeah, they're about the time when they would come into sexual maturity and that they're going to start marking their territory and that. And I'm like, I really hope that nothing bad happens and the zoo doesn't have problems, because it doesn't seem like these 2 electrical fences would really kind of keep an angry bear in. Don't know. I'm not a bear expert, nor am I a containment expert, but, you know, I said, oh, you think that's funny? Let me see if I can get him to do this. And I turned around and I said, okay, up. And I did like this, and the bear went right up, and he was like, oh my God, that's freaking cool. And I was like, I just know that he does it, but I know that if I do it, he's going to do it back to me. Let me see. I gotta put you on another screen so that nobody sees you. And let me see if yeah, so we can do this. Yeah, so this will be fun. No, 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 no. Oh, that's what I want. You can hear me now, right? Yeah? Oh, great, I can't hear you. So what I was going to say is that I've got this footage here. This is black bears, actually. I apologize.
Now what are you doing? You just sitting there? You contemplating flies?
Me at zoos.
I'm gonna go.
Ah, bad camera work. this kind of sucks because I can't hear you now. What was kind of funny is that I brought, as you can see, the horse flies are real bad. And so I brought the cat and I to use as kind of a fly whip. And I brought this out, and there was immediately a fly that was on my back, and I went back to whip it, and these two bears shot straight to the other side of the enclosure and were scaling the enclosure, trying to get away from me. Celery. I did not throw the celery in there, somebody else did. I can't hear you, Matt, so I apologize. I'm going to have to shut this off. Ah, bad camera work. Earthquake.
Come here, bear.
That's bear.
Come here, bear.
Bears are like cats. They never
We
come
just
when you
spent all
call.
that time like chasing him and running because I was not going to be here. Because I was leaving. You got all upset. You was chasing. And then you ran and you went in your home. What's your wrong? What's your wrong? What's wrong with you? What's your wrong? You don't want to be alone? You want to go do stuff? You're bored? What's wrong, bear? Huh? I'm beating up on the smaller bear. Smallish bear? Yeah? Beating up on smallish bear? Huh? Leave smallish bear alone. Nobody comes and sees the bears, huh? It's because you're not the big brown bears.
Not just a day at the zoo if I don't make noises.
See, here comes people. Yeah, here comes people. Maybe they'll come say hello. Maybe they'll bring food.
Smallish bear.
You, bear. Hi, bear. Hi, bud. Hi, bud. Poor bear. Yeah, poor bear. Poor see, here come. Here they come. Here comes the people. Okay? Here comes the people. It's okay. The people come. Pay attention to bears. See? Ooh, they're even getting out. See? You have somebody else you can be crazy with.
Too many layers. Too many layers. Too many layers. Okay. I'm going to close some of this out. Too many layers. Can I hear you now? No, I can't hear you now. This is bad. Hang on a second. Now try. I don't know why, but I can't hear you anymore. Did you do something? I don't think I muted you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What happened?
I don't know. I shut off video, then I turned it back on, and it worked.
That's really freaking weird. Alright. So yeah, I've got bear footage. Man.
With kind of sort of alright camera work.
Yeah, well, I'm not planning on using the whole thing.
La 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 la, I'm gonna lick the fence.
La la la. What is this?
Tastes like electricity.
This is a shocking revelation. Let me see if... Do I have... Well, me and Rose and Kevin are going back this weekend. I'm wondering if I got rid of my B-roll of the bears.
Now you're having video feed problems.
Okay.
You're frozen.
I'm frozen.
Yeah, on YouTube you're frozen.
That's not good. It's probably checking for copyrights, probably. So this isn't a long stint. This isn't a long stint on the video, but it kind of gives you an idea. And yeah, there's a camera turn in the middle of this.
You just like to play with yourself. Something wrong with yourself. Checking it out? Checking it out. I have a foot.
Oh no. Yeah, that's one of the bears. I got a lot of this. Have you tried to say something?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I just was wondering whether or not the audio cut out again.
Audio's working, but your video is frozen. All I see is you with your eyes closed.
Well, that's bad.
Paused.
Is it still frozen?
Yep.
Oh, it sucks. Well, there's no reason for that. That's OBS.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, go ahead, roll. I fixed it.
Oh, what did you...
It was on my end. I just had to reboot. Not reboot, whatever. Refresh.
Oh, okay.
Both screens, apparently.
Well, that's not good. So, these are the bears. But yeah, not all the pictures are good because when the bears would go up, there wasn't a whole lot of time to react or focus. But there was a lot of this kind of thing with them rubbing on trees, and you can see here where they've really chewed the hell out of one of these trees. And I came back later that day, and this tree was actually cut right above here, and it was actually cut down because the bears had done so much damage. I think they were afraid that the tree was going to fall down. Which to me, this just screams of like more than just I have an itch on my back. It makes me think scent marking and territory marking. is what this behavior looks like, which makes me think that they are very much, getting to that point of matureness where they're looking for a female.
Okay.
And like I said, there's the wire here, and then you can just barely make out the electrical lines that are on the other side of that are keeping them off the. That are keeping them
Yeah,
off.
it looks like every 2.5 feet.
Yeah, so I don't know, but it was kind of concerning. I mean, you can walk over there and just, I can tell these bears up, and they up on me. And they are considerably bigger than me. I want to say those bears are like 6, maybe 7 feet up in the air where their head is. Because that was higher than I could reach.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. Wasn't expecting to see that, but I guess it's kind of spring, so it's not really mating season for bears in spring, isn't it? Isn't it fall?
No, that's late fall, I believe.
Yeah. So this is Lewis and Clark.
They give birth over winter.
Yeah. So it seems, see that right there, that tells me, that is, to me, that's a reason to be concerned. I mean, it's a cute trick, but I don't think that stays cute for very long. Yay, reference pictures. So should we see if I can pull up some B-roll that maybe doesn't look so bad? They also had this.
Horrible.
They had this pied peacock, which I thought was really pretty looking.
Apparently you did think it was pretty. You took a lot of pictures.
Well, the thing was, is I was trying, me and reference pictures.
Yeah.
You can never have too many of them because you don't know how many of them are going to be bad. You just don't know, I'm telling you. And I wasn't sure how many of them were actually going to be good for just prints. Like, I don't know if this one's good enough to be a print out of. Clearly, this one was not. That one I kind of like.
Hopefully smarter than the one that was in Chicago.
Yeah. Yes. And then we'll go through and we'll delete the pictures that are fuzzy. Delete. I haven't been through this set of pictures. Let's see how many of these are decent.
So you did all that today?
No, I did this yesterday.
Okay.
This has been pretty much the last 2 days as I went out to Shalom and then shot. But I honestly thought that maybe this bear behavior that is all over the place in this enclosure was just like a one-off thing, but I don't think it's gonna be. But this bear sure does like me, or not like me. I'm not really sure what you do with that. All of the standing up bear pictures I could possibly want. And yes, I like my burst mode. And here's your
We can tell.
Yeah. Here's your buffalo. And then this is Goliath. So I will have to check.
That would make a good painting.
Well, and I thought it would it was really nice because you can tell his reflection in there. So of course I'm shooting through 10 feet of fencing and probably 20 or 30 feet through an enclosure, so it took me a while to
Now
light
that
it
you
up.
said that, I can see a bar right in front of me.
Well, yeah, and that's easy enough to edit out. But until I said that, you know, and I hit this point, you know, you can't really tell, but the more I back up for full body shots, then you can tell. And you can absolutely tell that this is Diva. This is a relation to Diva, with her really, really pale, pale stripes. There's some part of me that kind of wishes that they had some plexiglass parts where I could just free shoot, but and just in case anybody's wondering why I shot a picture of his butt, it's because there was a wound on his butt. It's trying to be nice to a zookeeper, because that's a thing you can do, is just be like, hey, you know, I noticed this wound, I shot a picture of it, if you need to take a look at it.
Yeah.
Barbary horses, which, like I said, they look a lot like Norwegian fjords, but much bigger, and with the primitive striping, that maybe can be a piece we can do in the future. And they have a cougar, the white lion, the Barbary sheep, which these are not the really big ram, but I think that this one right here is the one that got into a big fight with the ram and started a whole big head-butting contest the day before.
Is that a sheep or a goat?
They're considered sheep.
Okay.
They're a sheep. I also didn't know that tree biting was a thing that wolves do, but apparently this tree really, really pissed this wolf off. So by all means, bite the tree. Not sure where that gets anybody, but bite the tree. Bite the tree. Get that tree. Just get that tree. Arrgh! Okay, done getting the tree. Again, I don't go to zoos typically in spring, so I absolutely forgot it was fawning season, and this was too adorable. I can't help it. This was way too cute. The little foals, little fawns. And that
It is cute.
That literally had my camera maxed out. It had the big Canon maxed out.
Okay.
And I tried to get some B-roll of them, but every time I pulled my camera up, there was some over-pretentious Karen-esque doe that would be like sounding an alarm and getting all the does to get all their fawns in another part of the pen. Which was really irritating. Not gonna lie, that was super irritating. Case in point, these two does, I should say buck and doe, totally cool. They had no problem with me. But man, here goes mama, and in tow was the baby. But yeah, there's a spot where there's a walk up, and it's just this little like cul-de-sac area, and there's like 2 picnic tables there, and it's just got this huge pen on 3 or 4 sides of it.
Okay.
And you're just basically surrounded by these piebald and these albino deer, which I thought was very much up your alley, because that's kind of an unusual pattern for a deer.
Yeah.
But that was the mama who had a baby in tow. And I was sitting there thinking of you yesterday, thinking, man, Matt would just have a blast. He would be up here all day. Can we go to Shalom? Can we go to Shalom? Can we go to Shalom? I just want to eat with the deer.
Next time I come on out.
Yeah, just kind of just chill out and just, you know, can't really shoot them because, man, I offered to take my dad up there and my dad was just like, well, can I shoot him? No, Dad, you can't shoot him. Why the hell would I want to go up there? So you can.
So when we used to go up north and hunt,
Yeah.
in Shawano, there's a restaurant called the Cotton Patch.
Okay.
In the back of this, there's like a deer farm, and then they have a duck pond and all of that.
Yeah.
So I used to really enjoy going and checking out the deer.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much that, oh, I want to shoot him, I want to shoot him. It was actually, oh, neat, cool. We get to hang out with wild deer. Only they're behind a cage, and
Yeah.
we get to feed them.
Yeah. So that's kind of what they've got here. I would have thought that they would have been able to make a buck, like maybe selling one of these deer, one of their albino does, up at the Dells, so that the Wisconsin deer farm petting zoo thing where they basically you feed the deer.
Okay.
They could breed some
I was never there.
Yeah, it's like $10 or $12, and you go up there and you feed the deer and you pet the deer.
Hello.
You have company?
Yeah, we have a nurse come in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Nice. Oh, well, the Cleveland Indians are going to win. So, what more do you have for B-roll over there?
What more do I have for B-roll? Give me a second. I was looking for it. This is stills.
I really like those piebald deer.
Piebald deer. I got piebald deer. That's tiger, 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 tiger. Wolves. Piebald deer. Oh, this is only. It's only like. No, wait, no. Okay, yeah, we'll do this one. I am really not as swift on this as I should be. I really should be better at this. Alright. What? No, what? Okay. So now I need. Okay. So this is the first time that I tried to shoot the dough so you can hear the babies piping in the background. Kind of seems like the moms tend to take off on the babies and then just kind of leave the babies hang, and then the babies start crying. You there? I can't hear you, Ann. I wonder if it's because I'm playing video.
That's up to you.
Yeah, maybe I didn't shoot a whole lot of this. This is 5 minutes. What is this 5 minutes of footage of? Please don't tell me it's 5 minutes of me freaking shooting the ground. It's 5 minutes of me shooting the ground. Here we go. Must remember to actually point the camera up. That horsefly is the size of like a city bus. Searching, searching, searching. Searching. Here we go. That was the mom. I don't know if I've got footage of the baby that was bouncing around all over the place. that mom would take off and just, that baby was just peeling everywhere. Eventually that mom wandered off and the baby was just like, I'm done chasing you. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. That buck is wagging his tail like a freaking dog. Ah! Bugger. Let me see, what else have I got? How long is this? Other one is 5 minutes. I could just get, part of the problem is that my tripod is broke, so I have to get a new tripod, so I was doing this all handheld. Just don't care. Kick the baby in the head. Doesn't matter. To me, we're going like, Mom, don't leave without me. Ah! I don't know if that's a little button buck, isn't it? Ah! Ah! Focal length. Focal length. Ah! Earthquake. Jesus. Come on. I gotta get it together. I lost the freaking deer. Okay, there's the deer. It's amazing. We lived this far. There was an earthquake. Did you feel it, dear? It's me over in the corner just laughing at my own joke. Literally over in the corner laughing at my own joke. Ah, twice.
I'm really confused. Where's the baby? There she is.
Giant tree in my way. I can't see anything. Ah.
just decided that we're not deer people. Meanwhile, the rest of the herd is kind of like, yeah, you're fine. Not really sure if this deer has a name. I want to call him Splash. Splash. Should call you Splash.
And we would like to call you Hold the Camera Steady. People are going to get sick. Up. Yeah. There's the thumbnail for today. Who, me? I'm good. Splash is just experiencing his own personal earthquake. Oh, what we got? Annoying peacock. Oh wait, that wasn't really much of anything, was it? Nope. How long is this one? 58. I know this is a Chinese pheasant. I think it's a Chinese painted pheasant. I'm not really sure. It's not a silver pheasant or a golden pheasant, I don't think. He was all having his dust bath, and I just thought it was kind of interesting. I need to ask this question, point this out. Y'all noticed on this white part here where it went from being really narrow and it kind of followed this bird's head? I haven't actually had my hands on this bird at all, but at one point it went all the way over to the side over here in like this very narrow patch, and then it went all the way over here to a narrow patch, and now it's kind of fanned out, and it makes me think of like a bird of paradise, and I almost kind of wonder whether or not all these feathers are kind of attached to like this part of the back of the head, and that these feathers back here are actually really, really long, and that's my thought. I'm just pointing that out because it was really weird to me. Play, 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 play. Doesn't want to play. Play. Having a technology impaired day too. It's so weird. I'll bet you all those feathers are connected to the back of that bird's head.
Hello.
Hello.
There we go. I got it to work again.
I think it might be the fact that that I had a video player playing. I think it cuts
Okay.
off the background audio. It'll only do one audio at a time.
Yeah, I noticed all those feathers on the cape were doing that.
And I was like, that makes me think of like a bird of paradise, and they have this really funky thing that happens with the well, like some of them have like that I don't want to call them nape feathers or head feathers. I'm not really sure what anatomically they're called. But they come up to a really bizarre scoop on their head. If you guys watch videos on birds of paradise, you'll see like some birds of paradise just have some weird feathers that do weird things on their head, and it's all for mating. But hi, Brooklyn. I have a Brooklyn loaf at my feet. She's upside down.
Yeah.
And this will be a Brooklyn loaf right up until the point where I put my foot on her. So, I don't know, not bad for beginning B-roll, but and it was all handheld except for, I think the Barbary, no, they're not Barbary sheep. Are they Barbary sheep? No, they're not. Yeah, the Barbary sheep. The Barbary sheep I didn't shoot without a tripod. That's when I found out my tripod was broke.
Okay.
So, the tilt arm on it will no longer loosen up so I can tilt the head smoothly. So I can do left and right, but it's stuck at absolute horizontal 0, so. Oh, did I tell you that in looking for my setting up the 3 cameras, that I came across, you're not going to believe this, the SD card from the trip to Florida from 2019 that I thought I lost.
No, you didn't tell me that.
I just found it like day before yesterday.
Nice.
And I was like, what is that? Looks like Florida. Nah, that's got to be a different trip. That's got to be the trip. And I was like, nope, that's the hairy anteater I thought I lost. And I'm like, okay, the only way to confirm this is if the roan antelope is on here. And sure enough, the roan antelope was on there. And I was like, son of a bitch, found him. You gotta remember, kids, always back up your memory cards, because that was a roll that I thought I actually lost. So.
Well, I'm glad you found it.
I'm glad I found it too, and now I've got it backed up to the regular hard
Why
drive.
did I just see a cat of 9 go flying across?
Because I was trying to say earlier that the bears, where the black bears were specifically, the horse flies were so bad that it was the kind of bad where it's like being in a barn where the horses are not actually none of the livestock's actually sprayed down. I mean, you could see on the footage, on the B-roll that I shot, how bad the horseflies were on those black bears. But you could get within 50 feet of the enclosures, and you had horseflies all over you. Like, it was super bad. So I was like, well, Deep Woods Off is not going to get the horseflies to go away. So, and I didn't want to put all that crap all over my body, so I could take a bath again. And this way I could just wash my feet. So I brought the Cat of Nine to use as fly whip. And the thing that was really funny is that because this Cat of Nine is made with doe hide and not cowhide, it actually really doesn't hurt. It just really, really works very well as a fly deterrent. But since I had come up to the enclosure basically flogging myself to get the flies to go away, the bears heard the whip going on my back and had decided I was the scariest thing that they'd ever seen in their lives, and immediately like cut shit and went, nope, gone. And they were like way up. There was an actual building tied to their enclosure, which you could see in the background of the B-roll. They were up in the upper corner just screaming for help, like, she's gonna kill us. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get down here. And they were like, no, you're gonna eat us. And I'm like, over this? And I literally, like, I did this a couple of times, and I'm like, that's the noise you guys are hearing. Get down here, you know? It's just a nice way of getting the flies to go away, or if I'm lucky, kill the flies, and then I don't have to worry about them ever again. But, yeah, it's really hard to shoot the red foxes, though. They have the red foxes in a ground level enclosure, and then they put that enclosure that they were in, they put some ring-tailed lemurs. The ring-tailed lemurs will go up and down. But the foxes spend most of the day.
I like those guys.
I don't really shoot too many ring-tailed lemurs. I mean, I've shot them at Milwaukee. I've shot them. I pretty much, like, I've started to come up with a list of standard zoo animals. And I think ring-tailed lemurs are like number 10. So, like, you have to have a lemur, and it's because of Zaboomafoo. And, is that what that show was called? Zaboomafoo with the Cat Brothers?
Yeah.
The Crab Brothers? Yeah, everybody wants a ring-tailed lemur, so. Yeah, I can't, I really don't do. There's Matt's ceiling. Here's a picture of Matt's ceiling. So, yeah, it was interesting. I'm shrinking the wrong bloody window. I have 3 windows open up now because I'm so special. I need 3 windows.
Jeez, and I only got 2.
Well, and the chat's been super chatty today. Holy business, you know. Yeah, I've got 3 windows open, so. Yeah, so I shot the wood duck. Somebody was trying to say that it was a mallard. So we got to play that game again. At least it wasn't leopard versus tiger.
Well, that duck looks like it has a crest on its head. Mallards don't have a crest.
Well, it has that line that goes from a white line that goes from its eye all the way down the back of its head, and it's got that bright beak, and I'm like, that's a wood duck. Mallards are bigger than wood ducks by a lot, by at least a pound, which in bird world is a lot. So I got the planting done. I have my spiders taken care of in the basement because I'm sorry. I like a lot of animals, but spiders are not one of them. Definitely not spiders in my house. You would have laughed, Matt, because honestly, it was a wolf spider, all about yay big, you know. So it was a sizable wolf spider, and then this mutant freaking female grass spider that must have been trying to get away from all the males that were in the garden right next to the house. Because she was
Okay.
also sizable. I mean, she wasn't as big as the wolf spider, but wolf spiders hurt like a mother when they bite you, and they're
Yeah.
aggressive as hell. And I'm not dealing with that in my house. So they
That
both
makes
had to
sense.
go. Yeah, they both had to go. I'm not dealing with either one of them. So I killed them both, and I stopped and I got some pest deterrent, some spider deterrent that got sprayed everywhere, which is, I'm thinking now the reason why the base of the carpet, where the carpet meets the baseboard, probably why the baseboard is a little stained and the carpet is a little stained, is because they probably were constantly putting down some spider deterrent. But then I also got a dehumidifier today. So that's down there running,
Okay.
bringing the humidity down from 55, which I didn't know the humidity was that, it just kind of felt kind of damp down there to me. I didn't think the humidity was that high, but it's coming down now because that's what I got it set to. And I put the flowers that I got, and I'm putting them out in a strip of grass. I shouldn't say grass, the strip of garden that I've got right next to the garage. And so I put some bulbs in there, and then went to go move the old mulch away, and like 6 grass spiders went. Okay, so the thing that's funny about this, okay, is that you know I'm arachnophobic.
Yes.
I don't hide that I'm arachnophobic. Yeah, and you also know that I love to torture myself by watching things that freak me out. So
Yes.
I don't like spiders, but I will watch The Dark Den and I will watch Exotic's Lair, both of which are spider channels, specifically spider channels.
Also 8-legged freaks.
Yes, and 8-legged freaks and everything else. And occasionally I will find a pet spider and I will make it my house spider, and it will live in its web, and it's given orders and strict rules, and those strict rules always start with, if I ever see you move your house or decide that you're going to uproot yourself and go live somewhere else and you don't ask for permission from me first, you will die. There is no relocating for spiders, which is why grass spiders and wolf spiders are not allowed to live in my house. Absolutely not. Those assholes go wherever the hell they want. But when spiders are in my house, I'm like, no, don't die with fire, die with fire, die with fire, die with fire, fire. And I will kill spiders, especially if they're a wandering species of spider. Yeah, or a yellow sac spider. I've learned to hate those things like with a fiery passion.
Is that those things that really like the gasoline smell?
Yep, they like
Okay.
gasoline, and they will just, it's like, oh, you have a little spider, and he's right up here, and he says hello, and he lives in his spider house, but no, like, boosh! And then they will jump at you. These little assholes will jump right in your face and get right in your face about stuff. No fear before dying. But, that's me in my house, and get out of my face, and just, and I think it's because in my house is my safe zone. No spiders, no spiders. You get away from me with your ouchie ouchies and your bitey bites, and you're showing up wherever the hell I don't want you. Outside, however, is a whole different deal. So I moved mulch to, was that a bat? I think I just saw a bat in the window. That was kind of cool. I'm moving mulch with a spade so I can effectively get some of the bulbs that I had purchased earlier in the month in the ground so that they can do their growing thing. And like 6 freaking grass spiders all went whoosh up the building, and I was like, hey dude, sorry, eviction notice, planting stuff here, And then I realized they were all really, really small compared to the one that I killed in the basement a couple days earlier, and I was just like, oh, these are all the males. That must have been a female, because the female was huge. And they even have a bite on my leg. And so I was just like, okay guys, here's the deal. You guys can live outside, no coming in the house. You come in the house, you're gonna die. And I will
Sure.
kill you with fire, but you guys can stay here. And you can live with the gladiolas and the lilies and the irises. I really don't care. Just stay out of my house. And I got done planting the ones by the house, and then turned around and realized I had this creeping plant that I hadn't really identified. It hadn't bloomed any flowers, so I was like, what the hell is this? So I took a snippet of it and then noticed that there was absolutely no spiders near it at all. Like, not a web, not a breath of a spider anywhere. So I was like, interesting. Well, if it's a mint, and I'm too brain dead to like just kind of go, oh yeah, it's a mint. It's a mint in the mint family. But catnip is a mint family. There's a bunch of different plants that are in the mint family with that fibrous kind of stalk that makes you think it's a mint and it's not really a mint. So I just took a cutting of it and I went over to Cons. And they were like, oh yeah, it's spearmint. And I was like, really? Well, that would explain why I have grass spiders like up the hoo-ha, like right next to my wall. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, this patch of spearmint is like 4 feet by 5 feet. It's huge for spearmint. It's not like some compact little cluster. It's huge, and it's starting to take over that whole garden. He's just like, yeah, spiders don't like mint. And I'm like, well, I'm going to now take this plant and rub it all over my walls in my basement. I said, but when I was planting bulbs earlier, it seemed really, really weird because grass spiders have a fairly big territory. So you usually have like one grass spider per like 2 or 3 square feet of ground. And I would move a space like this to put the bulb in the ground, and 6 spiders would shoot out of it. And they're really compact. They have nowhere to go because they just have this little strip of land. It's like this little 12-foot or 12-inch strip of dirt that goes down the length of a garage. And so I kind of laughed, and I said, oh well, I went back and I bought a set of hollyhocks to put next to the arbor, and saw another bunch of them skittering up the side of the building. Went, okay guys, here's the deal. I will take out some of the spearmint if y'all take your stupid little 8-legged butts and go over there and not in my house. I will give you acreage over here outside if you stay out of my house. Sound like a fair deal? And I'm thinking, I'm negotiating with something who's only female that they've probably seen in weeks. I just killed mercilessly and will never think twice about ever doing it again. Just die with fire, But you're in my house. We're outside, I'm in your house, We'll have a negotiation, It won't be kill with fire first. I guess I'm kind of immature like that.
No, they can die with fire, that's fine.
Can you die with fire in both cases?
I'm not afraid of them, but I don't necessarily go out and look for them either.
Die with fire. So, yeah, that was today. And, well, we got rid of the cottage, right? The cottage got turned back into a storage shelf because we've got the closet now. We've got the door to Narnia, which is also the door to art supplies. It's like the art supply closet, so we don't necessarily need
I see the armoire is new.
Yeah, so that's the new finish. Because it's actually a ebony finish. So this is a wallpaper thing. And then this is the actual door. So you think I should do the whole thing in that stone finish?
Sure.
Uh-oh, your screen froze. Sad face. So that has been the last couple of days. And I think we were talking about this camera here and using, where to go? I have to find it. Don't know where it went. Can't find it. Derp. Here it is. The car magnet thing. And we're talking about taking it instead of putting it on the tracks and using this and just top mounting it 2 places. So let me get this bag out of the way, because that's just kind of annoying.
Does a magnet interfere with digital?
It could, I suppose, but the better point was that I found something that will work better. So I could take the camera and I can just move down here to station 2, and then there's the workspace if I want to. There we go. So I can sit here and work, and for the most part it's on the workspace right there. So I can work on ornaments and whatever I have you not over here without being on the drafting table, because that was super irritating.
Okay.
And then if I need a face cam, was it here?
Is that the table with the light table?
Yep.
Your workbench?
Yep. So then if I need it as a face cam, I can always put it here too. So that works, I think. And I actually don't have to pull the drawer open, and I have this much space I can work on, which doesn't look like a lot, but it's like 6 inches. So that gives me enough room to cover the workbench. Could probably move over here. So that gives me enough room to cover the workbench. So that's a face cam for the workbench, and then this would be the actual working surface area. I suppose I should probably get a light for over here for when I'm working. Probably.
Yeah, you probably should.
And then and then the camera goes back over here for just regular broadcast if I'm doing like reaction videos or what have you not. And then as far as that camera over there is concerned, let's see if I can play with this just a little bit. There we go. So the boom arm is on the left side of the table. However, I can't remember how to turn the camera angle so it's like 90 degrees from that, so that it would be right side up, which would make a tall video not a long video. So it may just wind up being, and actually I think I can do this. So right now it's mounted kind of like that's the view off of this is the view off of that camera right now.
Okay.
Which is, it doesn't look too bad until you realize that when I'm working, this is me working on it. And even if I were to bend the arm down like this, you still wind up with like a 90-degree shot of it. So
You got a wire hanging right in your field of vision.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. So, what I'm trying to...
Yeah, you got to do something about that wire.
What wire?
The wire that you just moved.
The wire that you just asked me to move and I just moved?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So, yeah, if I'm working on something like this, the hummingbird, the fantasy hummingbird thing, the camera can only get it from a 90-degree angle with this boom arm. So I'm not really too swift on this. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this. That, and as you can see, this thing has a fuck ton of wobble on it. And I'm really not fond of the fuck ton of wobble. So, I mean, I don't know if
Is that mounted directly to the table then?
Yeah, it's right on the table. So, I'm still troubleshooting the overhead camera, which is why we're not working on any 2D art right now. The wires for the Canon, for the little Canon, are right here for the DSLR. But I want to figure out how to get this arm to work in such a way so that I can work here and it can be overhead without being in the way. So that's the troubleshooting thing that I'm kind of working on, and I'm taking a small break from it because it got to the point where it was becoming overwhelming.
Okay.
Wait. Is there something going on in the chat? I don't think there's something going on in the chat, is there?
No, that was me when you were showing video.
Oh.
Trying to figure out why the hell is my voice not picking up.
Oh, I think it's because, yeah, but it also, I don't think that the audio came through for this either, so it's got to be the fact that it's not broadcasting any sound other than the primary video. So if I'm doing anything with, well, actually it might be anything with any audio. So if I play any videos, it's going to automatically cut any secondary audio out. Because I notice it does that with Streambeats, and it does it with Pandora too. If I queue up a video if I'm playing YouTube, I can't play Pandora at the same time. It won't play on top of each other.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It will play one or the other. It won't play both.
Okay.
Huh. Where did you? Do. I think that's Twitch. I think Twitch has been going off, but I don't think. Well, I apologize if somebody on Twitch was going off and it wasn't actually reading any comments.
Oops. Rose just said hi.
Yeah, my bot's not actually reading the comments. I didn't know anybody was commenting. This is frustrating. I'm firing my bot. My bot is fired. Yep. Because my Restream bot was supposed to start reading. Yep, and it didn't. It's not reading anything. So there may have been a whole bloody conversation that was going on and I didn't know anything about it. No. Hello, what are you doing? Yeah, some of this is from Twitch. Did you just type something?
I did. I just typed hello.
That's upsetting. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, this is really weird. This restream bot's not working right because somebody from Twitch was saying something like an hour ago and I didn't hear any of it. And that was, I don't think, when we were actually. I'm gonna have to troubleshoot that some more. Hi, Rosie Rose. You missed all the fuzzies. We played fuzzies. We played fuzzy video. White deer. We played white deer.
They were really cute. That fawn.
The fawn.
Sorry, that fawn. That fawn was very cute too.
You did what? You can barely read. Yeah, you did. You missed the deer. You're gonna have to go back and look at the playback. And the very shaky, very shaky video.
Yeah, I'm quite glad you don't go through the woods with a gun, to be honest.
With a gun. Okay, let's just say for one thing, when you generally walk with your gun, not necessarily loaded.
What? Yeah, it is.
When you're just walking and you're not hunting?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you're walking to your tree stand?
I can honestly say I probably would not be just randomly walking with a gun. Okay, this is not working. I better, okay. See, what you don't know, Rose, is that, yes, the water bottle is on the table, but the water bottle is, like, the computer is way over here, and the water bottle is, like, over here. It's at least 2 feet away. So I don't drop the water bottle on the tower, no. Oh, man, this is going to suck because we're going to have to figure out why the restream bot is. I'm going to fire my restream bot. It's supposed to be reading stuff and it's not. This is Twitch. This is restream. Huh. Do 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 do. Huh. Okay. Matt, we're going to have to take into account some. We're just going to have to fire some things here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to have to. We're going to have to. What? Okay. Really confused. Oh, for God's sakes. I was just here.
Wow.
What do you mean, wow?
Wow. It's all just popping onto your page right now.
What's popping
Your little
on?
chat scroll.
It is?
Yeah, your gray box up on the side there is just popping up now.
What the hell? Oh, you know what? think I know what I did wrong. I think I need to do this. I think I need to keep Restream open. And it's up there now? Because it's been up on my broadcast the whole time.
Okay.
It's just that it wasn't reading anything. But if it wasn't there before, I kind of wonder whether or not that's why it wasn't reading anything. Matt, try typing something. See if that stupid bot reads it. Huh.
There you go.
Huh. No. I'm just gonna fire my Restream bot.
Well, it's a good thing we're not doing this seriously yet today.
I guess not. We're not actually trying to get it to work. That's like super dumb. I apologize for anybody who messaged me and I was expecting it to give me a notification and it didn't. Huh. Well, that's... I can message my bot, that's great. But I don't know how to get my bot to... Trying to get my bot to actually do what it's... It's a verified bot. All I want it to do is read messages so that if I don't have it maximized, I can... Like, because in order for me to be able to read this, and apparently you couldn't read it before at all because it wasn't even there, which I didn't know. Yeah. Well, this just turned into a whole shit show quick. Typey, 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 typey. Yeah, it's gonna typey, typey. I'm assuming you put a message in the chat.
Yeah, just now.
Nope.
Again.
Nope, it's not working. So it looks like I'm gonna have to troubleshoot why the Restream bot's not reading messages. And again, I apologize. I didn't know anybody was messaging me. We have these stints where we just get going and start talking, and it doesn't actually. It's supposed to read the messages.
It's been technical difficulties all day, though.
Well, it's, you know, we're still kind of sort of getting used to this whole deal, and yeah. So let's do this because I had this tipped up. There we go. So yay, technical difficulties. I get mad about it, but we'll get past it. We'll find something else to have technical difficulties over. I'm just gonna sit here and make faces at myself. Okay. I am. I'm just like, I look like I need sleep. Sorry. Oh, what? No, I don't want to open up Word. Don't open up Word. Dang it. I need my hotkeys back. I need to figure out my hotkeys. This is. I need my cheat sheet out. I need my hotkey set up. I need to get the camera figured out. This is ridiculous. This is not. Ah!
I need coffee with actual caffeine in it.
What, are they making you drink decaf?
It's all decaf here because
Senior.
Caffeinated can work against certain pills.
Isn't that a crime against coyotes?
It really is a crime against coyotes, yes.
It seems like it would be a crime against coyotes. So yeah, so it would I have the roan antelope pictures from um, Animal Kingdom, so I can, and I've got the light table set back up. I actually have a new lamp in there. The old lamp was that shop lamp that Ryan had, that car lamp. Actually gave it to the neighbor because he works on cars a lot. You have to admire a guy that doesn't take new tires and then take them to a shop to get them put on the rims, but is in his garage putting them on manually.
Wow.
That is determination. There's a hell of a lot of determination. Get them bitches on a rim.
Ether.
Well,
Ether.
he was there with a crowbar. Are you kidding me? He hadn't even gotten to the point where he was gonna either pop the damn things on and seal them. He was just trying to get them on the rim. I was like,
I did that at the motorcycle shop.
that is a hell of a lot of determination. So I gave him the old lamp, and then I got an actual table-mounted lamp that's mounted on some L brackets that just comes down, and so as dumb as it is, it has a motion sensor thing, so I should be able to go like this, and it has a dimmer switch on it, and it's all fancy. And then Megan was here when I was hooking it up, and I started cussing, and she said, "What's wrong?" And I was like, apparently you actually need to touch the damn lamp, and I didn't wire it originally so I could touch it. I had it so that I could put my hand over the glass.
Okay.
And it didn't want to work like that, so I had to rewire it so that where that sensor was would drop down so I could turn it on with the sensor. Because I'm dumb. She goes, "Oh, well, it doesn't have a remote." And I was like, "No, it doesn't have a remote. That was the one that was $10 more expensive, and I didn't want to pay the $10 because I'm going to be here anyway. Just trying to make it work like this and watching it not work and trying to figure out why." So, yeah, but there's an actual flush cabinet lamp underneath there, so the light table's all working and the workbench is all set up. And see, we have a show in November we booked.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, with COVID, everything kept getting rolled over and rolled over and rolled over.
Yeah.
And so this is a show that I booked last I don't even remember when I booked this. It's gotten rolled over so many times I've actually lost track of it. It was originally a Christmas show because we have all of the Christmas ornaments that are in the closet. I think there's like 20 or so of them that are in the closet. And more that we have the option of making, because the dragon ornaments were super, super popular. And I only found tubes of the dragons at Michael's in Germantown. I can order them online, I guess, but they're a limited capacity. But I have 20 more dragons I can make ornaments out of. So we can make like a whole set of videos on that. That is just doing dragon ornaments. Because as fast as I could make them, they sold, man. Like, at $15 a crack, I couldn't keep them things in stock. But I still have the dog ornaments. I have some cat ornaments. I think I have the lion, a couple of lions. So I can do that. Are you unboxing Rose?
No. Still trying to figure out what's up with that.
With that bot? I've given up on it. I'm just going to try for it another day.
Okay.
Because I had a feeling that there's something that probably reset, because there was a update for OBS that came through and an update for the Restream app. So it might have been that things updated. By the way, if I don't tell anybody this, don't inbox me any TikTok videos. It screws my phone up. That, yeah, my phone was blissfully happy. We're opening up Messenger whenever I asked it to for like 3 days until you sent me a freaking a TikTok video, and then I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. And there's no way for me to get the
A
notification.
video of a stupid cat doing stupid cat things isn't worth it.
Well, unless it's like I don't think there's anything really on TikTok that is worth me not being able to open Messenger. Because what it'll do is it'll freeze Messenger. It'll absolutely freeze it. It won't load Facebook Messenger. It won't open my regular SMS Messenger. It won't open anything. It'll just sit there and load because of a app that's running in the background continuously that I can't remove that was downloaded by the carrier. And it needs a patch, but what it does is it scans all of my messages incoming for spam, and it considers TikTok spam, and so it will shut the app down in order to prevent spam from being on my phone. So stop sending me TikTok videos. If you want to put it on Facebook and then tag me so I have the option of going on the computer later, because that opens through a different app, that's Facebook straight up, that's not Messenger, then do it that way, but
Okay.
don't send them to me on Messenger. Because even after shutting my phone down and recharging it and restarting it and clearing the cache and everything, it still took 20 minutes for it to load. And I was in the middle of discussions with stuff at work. So that really became very taxing very quick. So, no TikTok videos for me. Rose, are you still watching?
What's that?
I don't know if Rose is still watching or not.
It says 2 watching now.
Oh. Yeah, it does. That means Rose is watching, which means I can do kitty time. And Rose can see her kitty. Do do do. Ready? Ready? Ready face? Ready face. Brooklyn.
She says that she'll see you tomorrow. She can't keep her eyes open anymore.
She should see me tomorrow. Crabby kitten. Crabby kitten. Mama. So we've got some work to do. I have a invite for another art show in November. Doesn't look like it's as well attended as the one that I booked already.
Okay.
Well, I mean, something's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Good night, Rose. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. Maybe I will pick you up some
Good night,
tea
Rose.
tomorrow. Tea. Yeah. So there was a secondary show that I was looking to book in November, and with COVID, I had pretty much put all of the show bookings on hold because I had booked the one that keeps getting rolled over before COVID.
Yeah.
And then everything kept getting shut down, and I can't read that. Yeah. She said goodnight, Matt. But there was a thing with COVID where everything everything was getting shut down because of COVID, and I stopped looking at booking. So perhaps I will look at booking again, but that's 2, and that's more than I've had in quite a few years. So, and I don't know that the new arrangement at work is going to work any better than the old one. So we will wait and see. It's going to involve more driving because it's not the store that I was at.
Sure.
But I've got other contingency plans, and the changing of positions will probably help because I'm not going to be working as much. And that will probably be largely helpful to the burnout factor, which was a huge problem with why I was so cranky and so intolerable. You know, it not being my store and no option of it going to be my store is a huge factor. Not looking to move up anymore. Giving up on that. So, but I have a lot of things to talk about. What did you want to bring up?
Me?
Yeah, you were going to bring something up.
I can't think now.
What do you mean you can't think? You didn't come with notes?
No?
How did you not come with notes? I've been like over here talking for like 2 hours, 3 hours? 3 hours.
2.
Did we get on it?
Almost 3 now.
Because you said something about how you were going to work on an art, and were we going to talk about art things? Okay, now
I was asking if you were gonna make an art.
It was possible because I was thinking about spending some time on the Wacom doing some photo editing.
Okay.
But then we got distracted with like B-roll and camera, technical issues and everything else. So
And glitches and
yay glitches, yeah.
2 cats staring into a camera.
Big
Getting
cat.
chin rubs.
Chin rubs. Chin rubs. How psychotic is it to play with a cat and eye? Okay. Anyway, working on an art, you were going to ask a question and then... No? You absolutely forgot your question.
Yes.
I should have probably had you write it down.
Probably.
People are going to think this is an S&M video because I'm like sitting here playing with this cat and eye, which makes a super handy dandy fly whip. I'm telling you. Just stuck this in my pocket. I really kind of wish I had a D-ring so I could just grab it and just like, get off me.
You need that for work.
No. There are way too many jokes I could crack about that. Man. I'm so confused.
About what?
Why it's so like difficult today to get stuff done. I don't know. I'm just not focused today.
Sorry.
That's fine.
That could be your ADD. No?
It could be my ADD. I also know that it's like 11 o'clock and I'm supposed to be up by 7. I have a pile of dishes in the sink, and it's going to be my last day to be able to wash my dishes in the sink that I currently have. Is that the way I want to say it? It's the porcelain sink. because the stainless steel sink is going in and the counters are going in tomorrow. And I am not going to have a sink for 24 hours because they will
You
have
should
to
probably get
reseal.
that done, especially you gotta wake up in the morning.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I should probably get off the air. Get that
That's
done.
fine.
So, yeah, I'm trying to be productive about things.
Look at you all, Miss Grown Up Sassy Pants.
Sassy pants? My pants are sassy. These are not sassy pants. They're sensible. They're very sensible. Oh, I just remembered I have laundry that's drying on the bed.
That's right. Just keep on piling up the list.
It's a never-ending list. It's like, somebody posted in the horse art group a piece that was, I think it was supposed to be wild Mustangs, but it was a bunch of horses just walking, and then what they did is they split the painting in thirds. So they used the top 2/3 as the foreground and the subject, and then they did the bottom third as basically just drips and as a watercolor run, and it looked really, really cool rather than filling the space with all foreground or doing a lot of sky for background. They literally shot the horses at eye level and then did 2/3 of the page as the subject. And I was like, that's really cool. I wonder what it would look like with glitter. And then I was like, okay, I need to stop with the damn glitter. But it's really dumb. You and I worked on that fennec, and you and I personally didn't really like that fennec. And I took it to work, and everybody loved it. But then, look what we're, looking at as far as an audience on that one. But then I showed it to a couple other people, and they were just like, "That's really cool. That's a really great. Don't throw this out." And I thought, okay, well, I know you're not going to want to hear the following sentence, but I'm going to subject you to this. There will probably be at least 2 or 3 more glitter paintings.
Okay.
So that when we get to show season in fall, that we can actually get a decent swath of people that would be potential buyer, so that we can figure out whether or not we should continue with the figuring out if glitter is going to be like an aspect of more abstract paintings.
What is it supposed to be? Is it like magic or?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It can be wind, it can be water, it can be magic, it can be whatever we decide it can be. Like in
42, it is whatever you make of it.
Yeah, it's up for interpretation. I mean, with the first Frost Fall painting, it was magic, and with the Fennec, it was just sand and dust and debris and rock.
Okay.
I like. There's the one that we were talking about in another stream that was the pack of wolves that were chasing the red deer that was leaping off the cliff. And we were talking about doing that. And that one, it would be snow. So I think it's whatever you want it to be. And I think that would be fair. Tired.
Well, you were just working on signing out, so go ahead and sign out.
Oh, you know me. So, yeah, I think we are going to call this one because I'm yawning and such. So, thanks for everybody for tuning in. And sorry for anybody who made comments that I missed because my chatbot is now going to be fired and we'll try the restream chatbot again another time. So, otherwise, Matt, you're going to have to go back to reading all the comments.
Okay.
But honestly, if it didn't pop up in the stream until like 20 minutes ago when I played with the bot, then it was on me, and maybe it just has to get rebooted and try again. Not sure. So I'll talk to you later. You get some sleep. I'm gonna get some sleep, and we'll try this again another day.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Talk to you later.
We'll talk to you.